never heard before. Elegbete TV Radio, the pathfinder for radio. Elegbete TV Radio, redefining broadcasting. Listen, you are listening to Elegbete TV Radio. Elegbete
Can you hear me on YouTube?
TV Radio, we dare to lead.
All right, good morning and welcome to the Sports Buffet on Elegbete TV Radio. Every day is a new challenge that you have to surmount. Yes, they say you can't use yesterday's victory to win today's war. It is true because every day there is a new update, there's a new upgrade, there's a system change, and you're wondering if you can match up with what you see, because YouTube is beginning to make me feel like, hey, Avino Perucci. I've missed, like really missed you. Had to explain it, but I have missed you, my brother. How was everybody? How's the family? How's everything going with you? Well, guys, we're back on the show, and I think what I have to say is that things keep getting better every day, every single day. Okay, because the streaming now we do twice a day, which is fantastic. The numbers are rising. I must be grateful to you all. Thanks to Hybrid 10 for making it possible for us to get yesterday night and this morning going, and all the support that you guys give. A channel have come to the place where I feel a whole lot more comfortable. There was a time where I was thinking more of quitting than continuing, but there's a whole lot to go, and I'm happy about the fact that that is a destination place for everybody. Like everybody who wants to get involved in sports talk, especially the YouTube channel, is a destination place for you all. And I don't take it for granted. I feel very blessed and elated to have you guys, always come here 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. and then 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. every day to get the show on the road. It's a fantastic thing that you guys are doing. Thank you very much. And when I remember back when we started and we came up with this idea of live streaming, I was always skeptical. Like, it was one of those things that I wasn't sure it was going to work because I was scared. Maybe not. But today, let's talk about relegation. We'll be talking about who wins the league in England, who wins the league in Spain, in France, and even Belgium and Germany and Italy. Seems like that is still news. Everybody's talking about it. But one angle that we're not looking at is the Premier League relegation line. It's not as straightforward as every other person thinks. Okay, so when you look at the table, first off, Southampton does look like it will take only God. It will take only God for them not to be relegated. Okay, so they play 28 games, like the team in number one position. They play 28 games. How does a team go an entire season playing 28 games? They've won only 6. It's not a bad record if you consider the fact that there was a season where Derby County went the whole season and won only 1 game. I still cannot fathom how a team plays in the Premier League, in the English Premier League. I'm not talking about Nigerian League. I'm not talking about the NNL or NLO. I'm talking about the English Premier League, where Top Flight Football Club is put together to play professional, high-performance level football. And one team went 38 games and won only one single game. Jesus Christ, how do you do that? But well, Derby holds that unenviable record. At the start of the season, I said the only NPFL club in the Premier League, which is Nottingham Forest, will not be relegated. In their last 5 games, they've drawn 2, lost 3. Doesn't look like they want to win any game. They and Leicester are the only team in the bottom half of the league that have not won a single game in the last 5, as well as Crystal Palace. Now, Crystal Palace have a new coach. Aston Villa seems to be informed. They are in 11th position, just next to Chelsea, who's won 2, drawn 1, lost 2 in the process in their last 5 games. So I'm not going to sit here and sink Chelsea into the relegation battle, right? Because looking at it carefully, you know that with 40 points you can survive relegation. But Chelsea just need 2 more points to make 40 points. I can't believe that one of the richest club in the world and one of the most successful club in the whole world, we're talking about them in relation to relegation and the fact that, Jesus Christ, that they need 40 points to survive. But then we've also have to remember, once upon a time, Chelsea ended the season in 10th, and the next season they stormed back and won the league. So probably they just might be the champions next season. Well, that is going to be a tall order, because if Arsenal wins the league this season, I don't see Pep Guardiola going 2 seasons in the Premier League not winning it. It's going to be a little bit difficult. Probably if they don't win the league this season and they go on to win the Champions League, well, all sins will be forgiven. But then if they don't win the league, they don't win the Champions League, I'm not looking at next season and saying, oh, Man City is not going to win it. So Chelsea, you're better buckle up well and show us what this new reign is all about, because the reign of Roman Abramovich was all win. They were singing the song by T-Pain, all I do is win no matter what. But right now they're starting on wastefulness. Signed a contract with Graham Potter that makes him among the top 5 highest earning coaches in the world, put him on a 12 million pound salary a year. I can't believe that somebody will give an English coach that kind of salary. Well, how much does Gary Southgate get anyway? Well, I need you guys to tell me. Starting from number, let's even leave Aston Villa out. Starting from number 12, Crystal Palace got 27 points. Wolverhampton Wanderers got 27 points. Leeds United 26 points. Man, the closeness. This Premier League is looking like MPFL table. I swear to God. Okay. Everton and 26 points. Nottingham Forest 26 points. Leicester City 25 points. West Ham United are on 24 points. Bournemouth 24 points, and Southampton 23. There's a way you look at it, you will say to yourself that even Southampton are not confirmed relegated yet. Yes, because they still got 10 games to go. In 10 games, there's 30 points available. So hypothetically, Southampton wins all 10, they will go to 53 points. That's not a relegation number. Yes, obviously, we all know that that's almost like impossible, right? But in their last 5 games, they've won 1, drawn 2, lose 2. So it doesn't really look like, okay, they're that bad. Bournemouth lose to smaller teams and then go to beat Liverpool and then again struggle. Almost got a win against Arsenal, almost become a draw, and then Reece Nelson happened. Okay, for Leicester City, does look like they want to experience relegation. They want to, close the chapter on a successful era of winning the league in 2016 and also winning the Community Shield and then winning the FA Cup and all that. They want to close that chapter and then go back to relegation and restart again. So for me, I'm going to ask you guys today, the first question that we need to, judge on, talk about is, who are your candidates, your pick for relegation from the teams that I'm going to mention? Crystal Palace, Wolverhampton Wanderers, Leeds United, Everton, Nottingham Forest, Leicester City, West Ham, Bournemouth, and Southampton. Who are your guaranteed 3 teams to go down in the Premier League? You can comment on Instagram, you can comment on YouTube, and then let's move on. There is a story making the rounds. When Antonio Conte was sacked on Sunday night, we thought that by now they would have sorted out themselves. But then the 2 candidates that they are looking to get have given them this feeling of, you guys can be my number 1 option. Okay? The desired for us, both of us, Mauricio Pochettino and the sacked Bayern Munich manager Julian Nagelsmann, have said they are going to sit back and wait till till Real Madrid decide who their manager will be next season, owing to the fact that it is certain that the man himself, Don Carlo Ancelotti, is going to be out of the dugout at the Stadio Bernabeu. The stadium have been redesigned. There's a new era about to start, and these two coaches believe that they are the hottest property right now. Zinedine Zidane might not go back to Real Madrid, so he's going to sit back and wait for Didier Deschamps to leave, and then he will take the national team job, saying that that's the one job that really fascinates and interests him. He doesn't want to coach club side anymore. He wants to do something with the national team. Luis Enrique have told us, Tottenham Hotspur, I don't want to coach a chitty club. I want to coach a good club, a club that know what they're doing, that have a direction, a sense of direction, and have a project, and really are committed to fulfilling that project. And Tottenham Hotspur, the shitty, useless club, are not one of them. The only thing good about Tottenham Hotspur basically is the fact that they have a good and a beautiful stadium. A stadium that is used for football, used for boxing, used for a whole lot of other things. So they are not interested. Luis Enrique is not interested. Zinedine Zidane, I've warned them, don't mention my name among coaches that you are trying to employ, because the name, the brand Zinedine Zidane is way, way bigger than the club Tottenham Hotspur. Well, I can't agree less. I can't argue with that even. Zinedine Zidane, Tottenham Hotspur is shit, okay? But let's move further down the road. The conversation now, the whispers coming out is all of a sudden Tottenham Hotspur have decided, okay, there is this rumor that if eventually Pep Guardiola is fired, the next coach, the next manager that will take over from Pep Guardiola is Vincent Kompany. And so Daniel Levy has said to himself, if Vincent Kompany is on the radar of Manchester City, why not take still a match on them? Why not go ahead of everybody, still a match on them, and get him to become the coach of Tottenham Hotspur? Well, remember when the story was that the manager that will replace Jurgen Klopp is going to be Steven Gerrard. I'm just playing the devil's advocate. Don't hate me for this. And everybody was, oh, Steven Gerrard, it took Rangers to win the Scottish League. He went to the finals of the Europa Cup, and I was here warning everybody that, see, my grandmother can win the Scottish League. Oh. It does not mean you are a good coach. What makes you a good coach is different from winning the Scottish League. Winning Scottish League has never been. And everybody's like, Sir Alex Ferguson also won with Aberdeen. Was coaching in the Scottish League before he came to Manchester United. And I remember asking all those people, Iwalewa Yusuf, I said, that time that Sir Alex Ferguson went 6 years without success at Manchester United, is there any club in this current modern era that would allow their coach to go 6 years without winning, and the fans will not say, coach so and so out? Well, if that's what you guys want to, I'm not going to even, if I saw that a long time, I'm not even going to try to argue with you people. But the fact that you're mentioning Steven Gerrard and Liverpool hot seat means the Liverpool fans are not ambitious. And then Aston Villa heard the rumor, heard the whisper. I'm not even sure if it is Liverpool that wanted to sign him. Probably it's Steven Gerrard management that sprung that rumor, and then they went to sign him. He almost got them relegated. Now, Unai Emery, Mr. Goody, is no longer doing press conference like he was doing at Arsenal. He's now on a rescue mission. He's trying to save them from themselves, from the Gerrard mistake, right? If Tottenham Hotspur employs Vincent Kompany, we know that Burnley have played some of the best football in the Championship. But remember, when they came to for the FA Cup against Manchester City, they were beaten 6-0. Just think about it for a minute. They were beaten 6-0. And I agree that the quality of players at Burnley right now are not the same as the quality of players at Tottenham Hotspur. I agree. But the way Vincent Kompany shouts in the dressing room of Burnley, say all the things that he says, I mean, for copyright's sake, I will not be able to play some of those voice notes, those extracts from his dressing room rant. If he takes that to this Tottenham Hotspur dressing room, that are so used to people, coaches pampering them being treated like it doesn't matter for as long as they just win or make it to the top four, it is okay. They don't even need to win a title. If he goes to that dressing room and start becoming over ambitious like AVB did at Chelsea and the same Tottenham Hotspur, would the players not gang up against him? Would you, if you are a brother to Vincent Company, a sister to Vincent Company, in his management team, his advisors, would you advise Vincent Company to go and take the Tottenham Hotspur's shitty job? Okay, would you advise him to go take that job, or say, guy, stay at Burnley, try to get them to the Premier League, and then show your stuff in the Premier League? Then everybody will respect you. But you go take a Tottenham job. First off, with Tottenham, you already know that you're in a place where there is no ambition, right? The greatest ambition of Tottenham Hotspur is to finish above Arsenal. And when Arsenal gets in their element, Arsenal are not a team that Tottenham can be above, just like we're saying this season. Okay, so let's see how it goes anyway. But I'm leaving it in your hand and saying, if you are in a position to give that advice, if you're in a position to determine how he decide to go, what would happen? Tomorrow is Saturday, and you know how it is. Tomorrow night, it's going to be Anthony Joshua and Franklin. Now, a lot of people think that Anthony Joshua would beat the American, and it's easy to to predict, to assume like that. But you see, the thing about this thing called boxing is it's about a punch that hits you somewhere, and your legs can no longer coordinate, right? So I'm asking this question. True to time, Anthony Joshua have gone out to say, if they beat me, I would retire. I will no longer box again. So I'm asking you guys this question. I'm piling up. I'm going to give you guys stories, but I'm piling up the questions one after the other. Anthony Joshua truly gets beaten on Saturday night. Should he retire? Do you think it's the end of the world? We've seen enough of him in the boxing ring, in the squared ring, to say, okay, the pugilist sports does not need him anymore. He should go and do something else, and go and look for Tedola's daughter and marry, or something, whatever it is he have in mind to do after boxing. It doesn't look like somebody that if he stop boxing today, he will be able to do the kind of things that somebody like Floyd Mayweather is doing. Americans are born with entertainment in their head. Floyd Mayweather will not box, but he will be more popular than people that are boxing. So what do you advise him? Anthony Joshua has had 3 coaches. In case you don't know, Anthony Joshua has had 3 coaches in the last 2 years, and his style and swagger has evaporated like peak evaporated milk after losing the stability of his glory years and falling out with Robert Garcia. New coach Derek James must help him rediscover his ruthless streak. And is he going to? Are you sure he's going to have that ruthless streak inside the ring on Saturday night, tomorrow night? That's something that we all must look at and consider. And then we could sit back and say, yes, the man is back. And then again, let's be honest here. He beats the American. Does that define him as being back? Okay. And then this is what the man who is fighting, Jermaine Franklin, have to say. He said, I will knock out Joshua, then see the sight with my mom and sisters. Okay, Jermaine Franklin is off to visit London's landmark if the American underdog can upset the hometown hero in Saturday's heavyweight showdown. So it's not a one-sided fight. It's not I'm good enough, I will beat him, I will just go and bring one weak and lazy fighter for me so that I beat, and then I'm qualified to fight either Tyson Fury or the Bronze Bomber, Deontay Wilder. I don't think that there is a chance. There is a chance in the fighting world where we'll see Anthony Joshua fight Alexander Usyk again. Let's not forget, first time they fought, Usyk beat him. Second time, Usyk give him mental problem. We're pretending about it because maybe he's a Nigerian, he's a black man, he's an African. Usyk beat mental problem, enter Anthony Joshua. That is how we should say it. Because never in the history of boxing have a losing boxer seize the microphone, throw the ring on the floor, the belt on the ground, outside of the ring, and rant the kind of ranting that Anthony Joshua ranted. But because if that was only Usyk that did all that because Anthony Joshua beat him, the name that would have come out of it. But hey, the Ukrainian, it's not that. Ukrainians are at war. All the tech people in Ukraine are busy and they are focusing themselves on fighting the war, so they couldn't create meme. And we in Africa and even the British people didn't create meme also. And then Americans are also lovers of the British. They don't want to laugh them. They want to kick him out when he's done. But truth be told, Ole said that Usyk gave Anthony Joshua small score problem. And now it's coming out. We don't know who is going to fight. We don't know if it is the fine boy Anthony Joshua with his stretch of punches or the one that have mental problem. We don't know. Yeah. People say that we shouldn't be saying that. No, I'm saying it. It's true. It's true. That was a mental problem issue. And talking about mental problem, one man I've come out to say he had it mentally tough. When you do bad, bad go follow you. Okay? You cannot deny Lewis Hamilton. Since that time till now, Lewis Hamilton have not recovered. So you too, you would have your own. So the man behind the Formula One race that cost Anthony, what's it called? That cost Lewis Hamilton that race that time. Okay, remember Michael Massey? He said, I was in mental turmoil. Speak English there. He said, I was in mental turmoil after Lewis Hamilton debacle. Michael Massey speaks to the British newspaper for the very first time since his handling of that race in Abu Dhabi turned into a hate figure. Well, he deserves it, right? Whatever you sow, you will wear. Whatever you plant, you will harvest. So I don't have a problem with that. Well, let's talk about the Manchester United sales. Seems like it's becoming a fierce. It's becoming a horse. It's becoming just a joke, a random joke that they played on everybody to keep the Manchester United fans feeling like, oh, they are going to be free. You know how when parents don't have money and they lie to their children, oh, don't worry, when you come first, when you pass your exam in flying colors, we will take you to Disney. You know how much I think they go Disney? And then the child works very hard, very, very hard, and come out to flying colors, and then the parents will start looking for one fault or the other that is not important, and then they use that one to say, I will not take you to Disney again. I lie you, they don't get money. So that's exactly what's happening with Manchester United sales. Okay, you want 6 billion. Let's be very honest. Is Manchester United worth 6 billion? Is Manchester United the club that somebody would really put 6 billion on? Well, I leave you guys to be the judge on that one. If you're advising anybody to buy Manchester United, would they pay 6 billion? Well, again, talking about 6 billion, where is that Nigerian guy that wanted to buy a Premier League club the other day? One Nigerian tech guy that they said wants to buy a Premier League club, and I said that guy will not buy a Premier League club. They said I was hating on him. Why was I hating on him? They don't even have. I wasn't hating on him. I just know that the way the Premier League is run, and that that integrity test that you will pass, those people will lie. Those people will create a hurdle that will make it not happen. And talking about Nigeria's buying club, we all know that Kunle Shoname, the owner of Beyond Limit and Remo Stars, have 50% ownership of Pacos Ferreira in Portugal. Well, the guy that owns Sporting Lagos, the 38-year-old tech billionaire who owns Sporting Lagos, I've also bought a club in Denmark. Now I think the project will make sense. It makes sense to me. It wasn't making sense to me before. It was an Owambe party, but now I think it's making sense to me, and I hope that they go on from there to produce great talent just like Remo Stars are doing. And I also hope that Vendreza people also do the same thing. Now, why should the owner of a club in Nigeria be interested in buying a club in Europe? You see, the thing about it is there is no way up in football in Nigeria. So there is no such thing as, oh, I will grow my players like you are Borussia Dortmund or you are RB Leipzig, and Bayern will come and buy them. Or for big money, right? Or big clubs in Europe will come and buy them. There's no way up in that regard in Nigeria. So the easiest way to do it, to create a structure that works, is to either affiliate yourself or own a part of a club in Europe if you have the money. Now, what does that do for you? One, it makes it easy for you to sell your players at a competitive price and then make money, because football is an expensive business. As a matter of fact, very, 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 very few people, the 1% of the 1% of the 1%, are the ones who do football business and make profit. as a matter of fact, football is a business. It's like politics. It's a business you go to when you're planning to get bankrupt. Only Americans have been able to hack the system to know how to make huge and massive profit in sports investment. No wonder the American Glazer won 6 billion, because if they are able to sell Manchester United for 6 billion, they would have spent the last 15 or so years in a business that they use OPM on. And there's nothing wrong in using OPM, other people's money, to do business. It's actually the best model for business. If you're smart enough to do that, other people say, oh, they go and borrow money. They buy. Shut up. You don't know nothing. Great businessmen don't do business with their money. They do business with other people's money. That's what all the banks that you have. Tell me which of the bank owner have the kind of money that they have in their vault. What are they doing? They take your money, they use it to give people loan, they take 10% or 15% or whatever percent, 8%, but you that put the money there, they give you 0.05% as interest. When the money returns, it's your money that they're using to trade. So it is a normal thing. It's only in Nigeria where ignorant fools would be on social media and say, oh, it's borrowing money to do business. You take a loan to do business. Shut up. That's how business are done. Okay, so let's move on. So if they are able to sell and make that money, it's good, but would they make the money? Now, we can't talk about relegation, can't talk about what's it called, Vincent Company going to Tottenham Hotspur, Manchester United sales, Anthony Joshua, and all that, without also talking about the games this weekend. So let's go and look at the games this weekend. In the evening, we'll do a more detailed analysis on the evening show on prediction for the weekend, because I mean, we're planning a watch along show, but I don't think it is now. I mean, we're still going to put it in the future. So let's look at some of the fixtures of matches that will go down in Europe tonight. There are 3 games that are going to go down in the top leagues in Spain, in Germany, and in France. In France, it's going to be a battle between Olympique de Marseille and Montpellier. And that game does come with some kind of like trickery that you might say, oh, this one is an easy win for Olympique de Marseille. But remember, in the last 5 games, right? In the last 5 games, Marseille have won 2 games, drawn 1 and lost 2. On the other hand, Montpellier, that you are thinking, oh, they will lose this one, have not lost a single game in the last 5. In the last 5 games, they've won 4 and drawn 1. So this is not one of those games where you just come and say home side would win. Yeah, it might be easy for you to pick it that way and think, okay, that is easy, but be careful how you pick that game, because that game might just be your harbinger, might just be your destroyer. Like I said yesterday night, if you were on the show, the Night Wheels with me, I said that even us that normally do research, people always reach out to me, when is your prediction going to start? I stopped doing prediction once VAR came in, because VAR is the greatest enemy for sports betting, and it's also the biggest. I'm thinking in my head, I'm thinking that it is sports betting company that sponsored VAR. Yeah, that's my own conspiracy theory. Everybody are allowed to have at least 1, 2, or 3 conspiracy theory in their lifetime. Okay, like I have a conspiracy theory on white Jesus and versus the real Jesus. You can't convince me. White Jesus is the fake one that was sold to us to keep slavery going. The real Jesus, obviously, in my head, in my mental space, is a black man. That's me. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to agree with me. It's not a quarrel. I have not said there is no Jesus. I've just said the one sold to us is not the real Jesus. Because, again, truth have come out to show that Last Supper picture that we grew up, that was in our church, that picture of that person that they call Jesus, is actually the uncle of Leonardo da Vinci. Yeah. So many people have died and go to whatever beyond that they've gone to, believing that the uncle of Leonardo da Vinci is Jesus. Okay. And then the 12 disciples on that Last Supper pictures are 12 ex-convict criminals. Okay. That Leonardo da Vinci picked and depicted as the 12 disciples. So, hey, would you blame me for having a Jesus conspiracy theory? Well, if you want to blame me, that's your business. I really don't care. Let's push on. So, what's my prediction in this game? I'm saying that both teams are going to score. Okay, so let's look at some of the games that Marcel have played in the last 5. They played against Reims. They went away in that game and they won 2-1. They played at home against Strasbourg. Strasbourg, not really a solid side. They drew 2-2. Then they went away to Reims, and then they won 1-0. I'm building a pattern for you here. Then they played in the cup game, okay, and against one Mugu team, Anasi. And there was anarchy at home for them as Marseille lost 3-2. Then they played against Paris Saint-Germain and they lost 3-0. So apart from the game against Paris Saint-Germain, they've been able to score in every game, home or away. Now let's go to what's it called? Montpellier. And I'm going to because these are the patterns that determine how a game goes. Forget all the current players. The pattern is always very, very important when you're picking your bet, okay? Unless there's an upset. Okay, so Montpellier at home against Clermont, they won 2-1. Again, away from home against Ajaccio, they won 1-0. Montpellier played against Angers at home. They won 5-0. Went to Lens, tough time, a team that you could also measure in the region of Olympique de Marseille, right? And they played a 1-1 draw. And then they went away to Troyes and they won 1-0. In other words, in every single game that they've played, they've scored at least a goal. Now, let's bring the pattern into the conversation. In the last 5 meetings or so, Montpellier against Marseille earlier this season away from home, Marseille went to their ground to beat them 2-1. So you will be saying that, okay, Marseille have a stronger case here. After all, in the last 5, Marseille have won 3 and then they've drawn 2. So it's supposed to be easy. Yeah, that's the pattern. But current form tells me that Montpellier are in better form. But because there is a pattern that says that when they play against Marseille, they don't seem to get it right. I say that the best bet you can get here, in the last 5 games, there's only one game where Montpellier have failed to score. That was when in 2002, October the 4th, okay, they were beaten by 2-0. Other than that, every other game that they both played, they've both scored. And it's always produced at least over 1.5. Minimum over 2.5 regularly. Only one game have been over 1.5. So in this game, for instance, you want to bet on this game. This is the kind of game you can bet safely, beat your chest and say both teams to score. It's guaranteed. So when I use the word guaranteed now, that's a bit scary, right? But I could say that, take it to the bank, it will work. Another bet that you can put up in this game and you feel safe about is the fact that over 1.5 is also guaranteed. Now, when you get into the risk level, is when you start doing over 2.5, over 3.5. That's a high risk level. That's most likely not going to happen. But if it happens, your odds are higher. Okay, so that's a 50-50 or a 70-30 probability for it to happen. But it's a proposition that you can also take into your betting. Now that's how you create a bet pattern, right? I don't know, but I'm sure somebody must have learned something. So this is how you read the games and then you look at it. Then to go into deep analysis of maybe checking the game and trying to know is you now go to their doctor's room, okay? Doctor's room, that's an elaborate one because you have to know if their star players are going to play or they are not going to play. The regular scorers, are they going to play or they are not going to play? The regular defensive pairing, are they going to play or they are not going to play? So when you used to hear me on Brilliant, I just come out and say, this team will be this one, that will be that one. It's not just me looking at the fixtures and just coming out to make that noise. No, it's me having seen probably, look at Arsenal now, William Saliba is not playing. And Holding had a good game in the previous game that he played. Leeds United are filled with runners. If they keep running at this Arsenal team, Arsenal might make a mistake. It might be like Arsenal going to Everton on the first game of John Dyke, and we saw what happened. That is a possibility. So, you could just come out and make a bold statement and say, Leeds United will beat Arsenal. You're like, are you crazy? What are you saying? But the reason why I'm not going to be that stupid to make that kind of statement right now, even though there are 2 key players in the Arsenal side that might not be available, which is William Saliba and Thomas Partey. And if somebody makes a statement that Leeds United are going to beat Arsenal, the person might not be completely stupid. But the thing is, Arsenal have built a team spirit that makes it almost impossible in the league to bet against them because they play to the death. Okay, and then the returning players in the forward line. It's going to be hard for anybody to stop a marauding team forward line like the Arsenal team, because everybody apart from Eddie Nketiah are runners, from Martinelli to Trossard to Gabriel Jesus to Bukayo Saka. Now, another setback that Arsenal might have is that there's been too much talk about Bukayo Saka this week, from the international break, his assist, his goal. There's been too much talk. Sometimes young players struggle to be able to handle such hype. That might just be a problem for them. But I mean, Arsenal, we might talk about that one in the evening. I'm just giving you pattern on how predictions are made. So let's come to my prediction for Marcel Montpellier. I'm going to go with both teams to score, over 1.5 guaranteed, over 2.5, 50-50, and that's just it. Who's going to win? I don't know. Could be anybody. The pattern says that Marcel will still win. That's the funny thing. The pattern says that Marcel will win, but form says Montpellier will win. So it's up to you to not decide. But I've given you the bets that are sure and the ones that are not sure. It's up to you. And then let's go to Germany, where Frankfurt will play against Bochum. And then again, let's study the pattern as I've just given it to you. Let's look at the patterns again, the stress lines, and everything that goes with it. Okay, and then we'll decide what happened. Eintracht Frankfurt, for instance, are not informed. And then you can also see that Bochum are also informed. Eintracht Frankfurt have played 5 in their last 5 games. They've lost 2, drawn 3. And then Bochum are just straightforward, win 2, draw, lost 3. And it's kind of like hard for you to pick this one. The only thing you can say is probably because Eintracht Frankfurt are playing at home, they would win this one. Because even though Bochum have won away from home against FC Cologne in the Bundesliga, most of their wins this season have come at home. Every time they've gone away, they've also lost. You start wondering, where are they going to get it? They lost at home to Schalke 04, who are not a fantastic team sometimes, but they won against them. They went away to Werder Bremen and lost. They even lost at home to Freiburg. So you're asking yourself, why would they beat Eintracht Frankfurt? Well, Eintracht Frankfurt are having a bad run. After the first leg loss to Napoli at home in the Champions League, it has not gone well with them. Okay, when they say it no go better for you, that's the case with Eintracht Frankfurt. It has not gone well for them, and they've been struggling since that time. But having said that, I'm thinking there is an old, there's a taking a horse to the old time road in this fixture, and I think that Eintracht Frankfurt will win. There's a possibility of an over 1.5 again, but I'm going to put my smart money on Eintracht Frankfurt winning, finding their redemption on this one, because it does look like Bob Marley is playing somewhere in Germany. Now let's go to Spain, where you know how Spain is. Anybody can beat anybody because of the way they play their football, expansive football. Spanish football is actually one of the most difficult to predict. Okay, but whether form or result, head-to-head, key battles, and all that crap doesn't really come to play that much. But then you look at Mallorca in the last 5 as well. They've lost 3, drawn 1-1-1. And then you look at Osasuna. Okay, Bayuana. Yeah, Osasuna have lost 2, drawn 1-1-2. And you say to yourself, where do we stand on this one? How do we go with this one? Who do we pick to win this one? This is the kind of game where you say to yourself, both teams to score over 1.5 is sure as well. Any team can win. You know that bet when they say any team can win. This game does not look to me like we are going to have a draw. Okay? But you can't rule it out completely. But to me, we're in the business end of the league now. It's hard to pick a draw in games like this. I'm going to say that Mallorca are going to win this one, and the goals are going to be over 2.5. That is my pick on that one. So those are the 3 games for today, and tonight we would start the conversation on the games, the fixtures that are coming tomorrow. There's a whole lot of them coming. The biggest of them all is Manchester City playing against Liverpool, and there is still the unclear position that Erling Haaland might not play. So for those of you who said he didn't go to the national team because he was faking the injury, well, we're about to see that happen, that he's actually really injured. And then there is also another big game. Well, normally this is not supposed to be a game, but it is 10th versus 11th. Chelsea playing at home against Aston Villa. Before the international break, Chelsea have gone 3 games without losing. They are in fine, I wouldn't use the word fine form to describe them, but they are beginning to pick form. And it does look like, okay, that's a good one for them. But let's start with the Liverpool the Manchester City hosting Liverpool at the Etihad. Okay, these two teams just know how to cancel themselves out. Man City don't travel well to the Etihad, to Anfield, and Liverpool don't travel well to the Etihad. But then Liverpool have made themselves the Robin Hood of this season. And then you look at their result this season and you say to yourself, what's going on here? Manchester City beat RB Leipzig 7 goals to nothing. For context sake, Liverpool beat Manchester United 7 goals to nothing. Right? So for that alone, you start telling yourself what's going on. It's two teams that have the ability to score seven. But then Real Madrid have beaten Liverpool 1-0. Bournemouth have beaten them 1-0 as well. They drew 0-0 against Crystal Palace. And then for Man City, in the last 5 games, they won everything. And they've scored 5, 6, 13, 19 goals. Jesus Christ. These guys are bad. They scored 19 goals in the last 5 games. One in the Champions League, two. They played 7-0 in the Champions League. The FA Cup, they played against Bristol City and won by 3 goals to nothing. Against Burnley, they won by 6 goals to nothing. What is wrong with them? What is really wrong with them? So Chelsea City played against Crystal Palace, won 1-0. That was a lucky win, the penalty. Okay? But then Crystal Palace played against Liverpool, it was 0-0. So we got some similarities in that regard. What's going to happen in this game? There's going to be goals. Goals galore. I would say because Man City are chasing the title, as an Arsenal fan, I desperately want to see Man City drop point, even if it's a draw, for heaven's sake, drop point. Again, Man City they are not really playing too excellently well in the Premier League. Look at the result in the Premier League. It doesn't really fit the conversation. Against Crystal Palace, it was 1-0. Against Newcastle, it was 2-0. And those are the two Premier League games they played in their last 5 games. The other ones are FA Cup and the Champions League. But looking at Liverpool, Liverpool have had 4 Premier League games. In those 4 Premier League games, they've drawn 1, lost 1, and won 2. And in one of those games, they scored 7 goals. Jesus. So you can counterbalance it and say, okay, if you take 2 out of that to match up the 2 Premier League games that City have played, seems like everything is the same. But then it's not always the same. On the league table as well, Liverpool wants to climb up and make up for the losses that they've made. This is a place where they get it. I'm not going to say whether anybody's going to win this one, okay, because I'm already biased. And because I am biased, Joshua, I've come to judgment. I might not have the right ability to look at this one. But what I'm going to say, there's going to be goals. There will be goals in this one. Liverpool are caught up in 6th position with 42 points. Even with a win, they would not move past 6. They will still be there. Even if Newcastle did lose their game, it doesn't change anything. But Newcastle will do well not to lose because they want to win and then catch up with Tottenham Hotspur very fast and then overtake them if possible. So they look to win this one. Liverpool, on the other hand, needs to win this one and then go for the other game in hand and get a win out of it. In the last 5 games in the Premier League, they've won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1. For City, they've won 4 and drawn 1 in the Premier League. For Arsenal, I mean, won the last 5. Come on, they are the most informed team in the Premier League right now. Can't say Europe because there's a certain Napoli in Europe. Okay, so who's going to win this one? Almost everybody. Smart money. Everybody says it's going to be Man City, right? Who the hell am I to say it's not going to be Man City? It's Etihad. These guys are chasing Arsenal. They are very good at that. They've chased down Manchester United and won the title. Aguero, remember last season they won the title on the final day, right? Ike Gondoga coming off the bench against Aston Villa and turning a 2-0 deficit to a 3-2 win. So who the hell am I? What do I know in football to say that City is not going to win this one? But then this is what I'm going to say. It does look to me like the game where if it goes well, and once you start putting if in analysis, then it's not a complete analysis. This is you wishing and hoping. Okay, but if it goes well with Liverpool, like I think they can do, and Mo Salah raises his game, and what's it called? What's the Dutch boy's name now? Cody Gakpo does the same, and everybody comes to the party where they need to come to the party. Because where are City the most weakest is where Liverpool are also the most strongest. City are weak at the back, Liverpool are strong at the front. But then again, in converse fashion, Liverpool are also weak at the back, and City are imperious up front. Look at the number of goals that they are scoring. But then the Norwegian tour might not be playing in this game, so that might be an advantage for Liverpool. Then why that is an advantage? Again, City's strong tower, their powerhouse is their midfield. You take that midfield from Liverpool. The reason Liverpool beat Manchester United 7 goals to nothing was that they decided on the day to play route one football. They bypassed the midfield, launched the ball forward because Manchester United were foolish enough to play a high line of defense and push themselves forward and then create too much gap between the defense and the goalkeeper. And Liverpool took advantage of it. That's almost similar to what Man City would do, but the difference was that against Manchester United, Bruno Fernandes and the rest of the players were turning over possession easily when they go forward to Liverpool. Man City will not do that. Man City will keep possession. It seems like Phil Foden will not play this game. It also feels like Haaland will not play unless they are deceiving us. Those two players don't play. There just might be something in it for Liverpool to pick. But then again, Man City is that team that when you think that, oh, because this player is not playing, that player is not playing, the others will raise their game. All of a sudden, recently, Kevin De Bruyne is beginning to find a good form. And once he begins to find that form, it's over, right? And it changes the dynamics. And everybody who's listening there is saying, all this plenty talk you're saying, what is your prediction? My prediction is goals galore. Over 2.5 is guaranteed because it's betting. It's not about who wins. It's about who make money. Over 2.5 is guaranteed. Over 1.5 is guaranteed. Both teams to score is also guaranteed. Those are the biggest opportunities there is in the bet market for that game. Well, these are things that we'll talk about in the evening. I just wanted to, put those out and show you how difficult sometimes it is to research this game. Now let's take the conversation on the comment from everybody. I'm gonna go to Instagram first. Duni Remileko have colonized the YouTube channel today. Seems like he's the host, the co-host of the show. But anyhow, whatever it goes, it is who puts the comment that we will read. Okay, let me start with this one. Ezekiel, he said, well done, Elegbota one. Thank you very much. And what's it called? Uh, Joe Giggs, I don't know. Beery sick. He said, Juni, I don't know what you're saying. I don't know what you're saying. Okay, as I can say, I'm doing AFC Bournemouth, West Ham United, and Nottingham Forest will be relegated. So I'm looking. I don't think Nottingham Forest will be relegated. I'm not saying they are too good not to be relegated, but I just think that the Premier League will manipulate results for them. That's what I think. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. I remember I've always said that the Premier League is always manipulated, and I think they will manipulate results for them. They manufacture 3 points at crucial points of this season for them. Say I said it in the remaining 10 or so games, result will manufacture to save Nottingham Forest from going down. If I got to say Southampton Bournemouth will go down for me, third team is difficult to call, but I reluctantly say Nottingham Forest. Okay, 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 okay. Let me not argue with you people. Since you people think that they will go down. Onamdi Roland 16 says Man City would win against Liverpool. Okay, I'm not going to argue that one. Real Alvino Perucci, my brother and my friend. Liverpool to get a result on Saturday. That would be the sweetest thing. And then I now hope that Arsenal eventually go and beat Leeds United because Liverpool gets a result and Arsenal still go and fall hand. It not go good though. It not go good. And let us have peace. So this is running to the end of the season. But I know that this is another thing I'm going to say. I know that. Mark my word on this. If Liverpool beats Man City, VAR will malfunction in the Arsenal game. Because the Premier League owners, the organizers of the league, do not want a procession. They want this league to go to the end. Since 2012, look at the Premier League carefully. People there used to be a time where you win the Premier League with 4 games to spare. Have you noticed that since 2012, nobody's won the Premier League with 4 games to spare? No way. You know why? They just discovered that thing that happened in 2012 when Man City won the league the last day kind of like shut up the commercial value of the league, kind of like expanded the viewers, the eyeballs on the league, the data and the statistics was astronomical from that moment, that game. And from that moment, they have created a system that made sure they must manipulate them. Take, for instance, Arsenal Brentford was one of the games that they manipulated this season. There is nothing anybody will tell me. There are two Arsenal games that have been manipulated. One, the VAR people said they forgot to rule the line. Oh God, this is the only job you are there to do. It's like I do a show for 1 hour and I say I forgot to on the microphone. Like, am I not supposed to be hearing it in my ear? Is that not why this thing is here? So I forgot to on the microphone. I just raised the console up, but I forgot to press this red button here. Come on, is it possible? Name any presenter that'll be able to do that. Come on, come on. But hey, it happened in the Premier League. Nobody was suspended. Nobody was beaten. It just happened. I'm imagining that happened in Nigeria. That would be headline news for eternity. Okay, that would be reference point forever. And then the Brentford goal, the Tony goal, again they forgot to rule the line. Wow. Forget us. I agree to that. Then they suspended the people, and 2 weeks later, they brought them back into action. And Jesus, the Premier League is just a funny league anyway. That's a conversation we will have another day. But let's go to the comments of the people out there who are dropping comments. Ezekiel, the celebrated one. You just spoke my mind. VAR is a comedy in the EPL. It's all about views for them, dear. Thank you very much on that one. Odino Rebeleka says, good morning, Elevator TV family. Good morning to you, my brother. And he says, Bros, if everybody Barcelona for that accusation on the Gregor stuff, man, you suppose join. Well, if there's an opportunity to mock, there's an opportunity. There's nothing anybody can do. Odino Rebeleka went on to say, Fergie and Man U will they rob teams for their for their life. Well, like I have said before, and I'm still going to insist until somebody is able to prove me wrong. The 13 titles that Manchester United won under Sir Alex Ferguson, 9 of them were match fixing. I don't care what anybody wants to say whatever you like. 9 of them were match fixing. I've got my own pile of evidence as well to back up my claim. But don't you remember across Southampton, Leeds United, and Everton? I think that Everton will get relegated. I just think that Everton will get relegated. First off, they have the worst set of fixtures going into this, and then the way they brought in Sean Dyke and make us feel like, oh, Sean Dyke will just come in and work magic, and then on the first game it beat Arsenal. And I know when I say people say, oh, it's my Arsenal beef, because that was a 3-point that we lost, and by now we'll be 11 points clear. But hey, it is football. These things happen. Okay, last season Everton also was part of the reason why we didn't make the top 4. That goal by Damari Gray at Everton that we lost 2-1. Remember that last minute goal where he just came in off the bench and scored that goal? Yeah, still pisses me off to this very day. Well, but I think Everton are going to go down. They are going to go down. We can't be traveling to Merseyside and be losing. We go to Everton and we lose. We go to Anfield and we lose. Come on, there's got to be another team. Let Everton go down and let another team come up so that we go. We know that we can go down and get 3 points. What's that? Every time we go to Merseyside, we'll be losing. Come on, what nonsense? I don't rubbish. Okay, unless Liverpool allow us to beat them, next week, maybe we can now change our position. I can change my position on that one. Okay. Odin Ramaleka say, Pochettino coaching Madrid. Does Perez really believe in that man? I don't expect them to appoint him though. Well, Pochettino is top on their list, actually. He's top on their list. I've got sources from Maka who told me that. Michael Obiajulu says Leeds, Southampton, and Leicester. And everybody is ignoring Leicester. Leicester does look like they are on a mission to go down. Like they want to destroy everything that they've built over the years. And it does look like they really want to go down. Okay, so I don't know. Okay. Lord Mayor say company never reach for sports job. Okay, where they reach for? Odin Ramaleka say Pep Guardiola no serious. So the way they take beating apprentice when they later meet, like you still got enough to learn, my boy. Okay. Odin Ramaleka say no, he should stay at Burnley, promote to the first division, and then see what he can do. Michael Obiajulu said it's not wise for company to go for sports job because it will also end like the other young coaches like Vieira and Lampard. So he should continue his nice profile job with Burnley. Talking about Patrick Vieira. Leeds United have said at the end of the season, if they don't get relegated, if they survive relegation, Patrick Vieira is their next coach. Do you think that's a good choice for Leeds United? Patrick Vieira. I think that Patrick Vieira is a good coach, and I think that the sacking at Crystal Palace, because I was thinking in the future, Patrick Vieira is the future coach of Arsenal. That's what I was thinking. But looking at the way he was sacked at Crystal Palace and the run of bad results that they've got,
I'm saying to myself, maybe I was wrong. Maybe, just maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But let's see how it goes. Michael Abel, it's okay. It's upside down. Odin Ramalaka says, if Spurs go for Patrick Vieira, do you think it will turn it down? I think it will turn it down. It will turn it down. So remember, I don't know if you've seen that interview where David did. Spurs would never go for Patrick Vieira. Spurs, nah, nah, nah. No. They will not. So the first English words, and people don't know where this word came from. Spurs is shit. The first ever English words spoken by Patrick Vieira in the Premier League is Spurs is shit. So that's where that phrase came from, right? And when they asked him who taught him that, he said is Ray Parlour. So every time you hear Spurs is shit, it's Patrick Vieira that it's attributed to become a Patrick Vieira signature word. I don't think Patrick Vieira would ever want to go coach at Spurs. I don't know. I don't know if it's possible, but let's see. I mean, anything can happen. But I don't think Levy would want that. And the Spurs fans, I mean, he's a former Arsenal captain. You really want an Arsenal captain to go coach Spurs? It's a taboo as far as I'm concerned. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Um, no, it's not going to happen. Osage Power says a company to Spurs is not a bad move, only if they will be patient with him. With Spurs, what Spurs needs now is not just a manager but a project. I agree with you on that, and that's one of the things that's been lacking with Spurs for a while. Spurs needs a project. What has happened with Arsenal and Arteta? Come on, let's be very honest. First two seasons, apart from winning the FA Cup, first two seasons Arteta was horrible. We finished 8 back to back. And then last season, we had a chance, a very easy ride to make the top 4. Last 10 games, Arsenal lost 5 games. You know, it's crazy. After going 13 games unbeaten, 10 games to the end of the season. And again, that's why we're here now. And I'm telling you this, I'm a bit worried because certain things create a pattern. And if something has ever happened to you before at a certain point in your life, like maybe you're crossing road and Okada hits you, every time you want to cross road and you see a shadow of Okada coming from a very far distance, your heart would palpitate, your heart would beat faster. So we're 10 games to the end of the season, and my heart is beating faster again. You know why? We lost 5 games last season to teams that we could have beaten. We lost 3-0 to Crystal Palace, to is it Crystal Palace? No, to Everton, Newcastle. We lost to Crystal Palace. We lost to Tottenham Hotspur. We lost to Southampton, and we lost to Brighton and all. That you can't believe that Arsenal will lose those 5 games, and it's because of those 5 games that we didn't make the top 4. We ended up in 5th. We didn't play Champions League. We went to go and play Europa this season. Well, it was a blessing in disguise, now looking back, because it forced the hand of the management to agree to sign the players that they needed. Again, nobody could have blamed Arteta that much because when you let Aubameyang go in January and you didn't get a replacement, well, it was last minute, but you already knew from November that you were going to let him go, and you didn't make a replacement, and you were banking on Eddie Nketiah and Lacazette. It was a terrible decision. For this season, from last summer up until the winter now, Arsenal have changed in a lot of ways. Our signings have been very, very precision perfect. The club have done their business in the way that every other club would dream of. And then Arteta have also put his imprint in the team, but I still don't like the way Man City beat Arsenal. Man, it was crazy. It was reminiscent of Liverpool beating us last season at Anfield. After playing, you never walk alone in our training ground. But hey, football is football. These things happen, and then you have to move on. So let's see what goes on eventually. Oduni Ramilaka say, in the watch along in the nearest future, can you consider inviting Mr. Precious or Muslim once in a while? Okay, so Precious lives in Ikorodu. It's not about inviting Precious. Precious lives in Ikorodu. Precious' job is such a crazy job that is needed at all times. That is a father. I'm a father, so I understand the situation. And then if you want to do the watch along, most time it's going to stretch into the night, and boat closes by 6:30. So that could also be a problem. But we will look at it. I'm scouting for people to be around that can come around from this place. But what I've noticed, like skills, the island doesn't have very skillful people in a lot of things. Say, for instance, if you're looking for video editor, you have to go to the mainland. If you're looking for good photographers, you have to go to the mainland. If you're looking for reporters, sports reporters, you have to go to the mainland. The mainland is blessed with all those people, probably because they have all the stadium, Agege Stadium, Tesla Balogun Stadium, National Stadium, and it's always been sports for them. What you have on the island, and I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to say it. What you have on the island are stupid young people who don't know what they're doing, and then again, a lot of Yahoo boys or fake Yahoo boys who are not picking. So it's hard for you to bring anybody to come sit in your studio and look at TSF, for instance. Everybody who comes on the show are from the mainland. So it's hard to really get people on the island who can talk sports very well, who are good at it, at the level that we have risen the bar to. But we'll find a way because the watch along it's not going to be good for only one person to be in the studio. We'll find a way around it and we'll get it sorted out. The thing about me is once I put my mind to something, tunnel vision. It's Mamba mentality. We're gonna get it done one way or the other. But Precious Amosuwe, for now, fatherhood plus job and distance is a major abinger for him. But we'll find a way around it. Then Mariamaka says, and Lewis is back for Liverpool. Yeah, so Liverpool might just be a team that would give Man City a run for their money. And then he wants to say, I beg you, make them cancel Man City. Oh, yeah, we're hoping that happens, but it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. Okay. And then he said Newcastle making the top four. Wahala go do next season from this summer. Okay. Lord Mayor, my final prediction: Arsenal, Man City, Man U, Newcastle, Sports Liverpool, Brighton, Fulham, Brentford, Chelsea. Wow. Chelsea doesn't go up. Let me say relegation, Leeds, Bournemouth, and Southampton. Hey, Leeds going down. Patrick Vieira, you're the coaching championship. But do you remember, because says Pep Guardiola actually did it that season. Jose, Man U team finished second in the league. City don't win the league before 4 games left. I know, but it's no longer a regular thing. That's what I'm saying. It used to be a regular thing, like, oh, you win the game, 4 games, 5 games to go. Nah, it's not a regular thing again. They prefer the drama. Every once in a while, you're going to have that 3 games, 4 games win. But the regular drama that the Premier League people want, the owners of the league want, is that last minute, that game, that final day. It's not a procession. It's not a let's just go watch these dead rubber games. Everybody have been relegated. Everybody, the winner have been decided. Let's just watch the placement matches. No, they don't want that anymore because the views now the Premiership have, according to statistics, have 4.7 billion people watching the Premier League all over the world. That's very massive. Even the individual clubs are now going out there to market themselves. We saw Chelsea in China with Jimmy Fred Hasselberg and a few other people marketing the Chelsea YouTube channel. And that's when I know it's massive. Now they're going out to market YouTube channel too. Not even the league again. It's crazy. The organized competition, legend versus people on the streets, and all that. Watching long. It's crazy, but it's one of those things that you need to do. I wish that the guys running the MPFL will be, part of it. There's an interview that I did 2 days ago. It's going to be out next week. I hope you guys watch it. I would encourage you guys to watch it and drop your comment on it because it has a whole lot. I'm trying to get that company, because a company that I worked with in Germany some time ago, trying to get them to come to Nigeria and help the MPFL as best as they can. But then it's up to the IMC to determine whether they want their services or not. They're not just going to jump into Nigeria and do anything. But I'm hoping that they will see a reason to want to work with Resort Sports. You can search them out on Instagram, search them out online, Resort Sports, and see what Leo Mario is doing. Mario Leo, sorry, is doing with his group. Statistics, European statistics, all this thing about heat map, passes forward, passes left, back. They are the ones who created that system. And I think they also have the best fan engagement system in the German Bundesliga and across Europe, something that we would need in Nigeria. Okay? Lord Mayor say, boss, who will be the next 2 managers that will be inducted in the Hall of Fame, in your opinion? After Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, I think that Jose Mourinho deserves to be there. I also think that Pep Guardiola have earned enough. He's a new manager in the Premier League, but he's earned enough because it's changed a lot about the way the Premier League is played, about the way the game is played in the Premier League. He perfected the play from the back in the Premier League. He also perfected the squeezing of the fullback into the midfield, systems that never existed before he showed up. He's brought them in, and I think he deserves to be there. But then for the ones that didn't win the league, but they should also be okay. Before that one, I think Claudio Ranieri should be given some mention in the Hall of Fame in the future. But then for the ones that didn't win it, but for what they did in the league, they should be granted a Hall of Fame status. I think we should have Sam Allardyce. We should have a Redknapp. And, Graham Souness. Graham Souness should have also been or probably Kenny Dalglish if possible. But hey, the next two that comes to my head right now, Jose Mourinho top of that list, and then Pep Guardiola. And then eventually maybe Jurgen Klopp. But hey, only one Premier League title, but it chased the eventual winner consistently, so he deserved to be there as well. DJ Love for my one of our members. I like the way your name shows in green and it's star in front. And that's a bloody show off. He said, Elevator, you just the para. No, I'm not the para, I'm just the para for me. Spurs are very serious, okay? He said, it's not easy to stay island. Oh. Money is too cost. Now packaging full island area. I know, but it doesn't mean that the people here should not have sense. Let me say, Yahoo boys with girls, we they do yash, okay? Too many fake. I mean, island is fake, okay? I live here and I know. There's a lot of my estate have practically turned to a porn hub. Like people walking naked in the estate. I was like, Jesus Christ, this is why I'm raising my kids. Like when I go to my content, I'm like, ah God, let me just have the money to move my family to this place. And this place does look good. This is like the place I want to jackpot to. I don't want to jackpot, brother. I want to jackpot to this. If I go to meet Ali Baba, I'm like, this, I want to jackpot to this place. People are responsible here. They are decent. This place, people hold their punani in their hand and they are just putting it all over your face. Nobody, Jesus, people walk naked here in my estate. I know someone I call watch porn film, blue film. Oh. I know they had some people, sure. Uh, I did love say I would like to do watch along. It will be nice. Okay, we will try it and see. Crossroad Bookman where is the YouTube sound gets issue. Big bros, work no let me come in early. I greet the family. I don't know why that is anyway, but I'm beginning to feel it towards the end. And finally, he said others should come and join. Oh, break plenty when it gets these stars. Okay, that's gonna happen very soon. Well, this is where we're the content on the show. It's been fun. It's been exciting. Have a great time. Let's do it again in the evening, 9 to 10 p.m. That's where we would do. It will be fully prediction of all the games that are going down in England, in Italy, in Spain, in Germany. Let me go do some good research and find myself on the right path. Thank you very much for your time, and let's have some fun going through life, even though it is hard. But let's have fun. Bye bye.